Hey, how's it going? I would like to talk about 500 most influential people and what that is. 500 most influential people typically refers to a list of ranking of individuals who are considered to have significant impact, influence, or importance in various fields such as politics, business, technology, culture, science, and more. This list often applied by organizations, magazines, or publications as a way of recognize and highlight the achievements and contributors of those individuals to society. The criteria for inclusion on such a list can vary widely, and the specific people chosen can differ from one list to another. Inclusion on these lists can be based on factors such as leadership, innovation, social impact, global reach, culture influence, and more. One of the most well-known 500 most influenced people list is published annually by Times Magazine, known as Times 100 list. This list features individuals from various walks of life who had made notable contributions to their respective fields and have had significant impact on the world. However, there are more. There are many other similar lists published by different organizations and media outlets around the world. I personally believe that's more about overall organizations, and there's a set standard for different organizations. It's called S&P 500, best performing organizations, and 500 of those organizations. Overall, I'll like to bring your attention to people. In this particular case, 500 people, most influential people, and I'll be trying to reach out to those people and perhaps organize conference calls with those people. Overall, 500 most influential people. I'm not big on networking. I prefer focusing on whatever is going on in my personal life. Well, I think that's just a bad habit, and I perhaps to actually make impact and perhaps help others, not necessarily focus just on my own. Would need that might require for my overall business, by perhaps solving problems for others. I need to reach out to different people, different organizations, and focus on perhaps people who are taking action and doing things. That would be 500 of those people, and it could perhaps be breaking down into different regions, where different region might have different groups of people, communities. Different cities might have 500 people of people who are actually taking action and doing something with those communities. That would be 500 people. There might be some lists up there that different magazines are doing, but I'm currently focusing or talking about people who are doing the most within different cities, different regions, different communities. And if I had to break it down, it would be more 500 people who are taking most action. How to find most influential people within different regions, cities, countries. Finding the most influential people in different communities, cities, and regions can be a multi-phase task that involves research, networking, and staying informed about current events. Here are some steps you can take to identify influential individuals in various areas. Research online. Look for local news sources, magazines, and websites that covers community or regions you are interested in. They often features profiles and interviews with influential figures. Research for online forums, social media groups, or websites that discusses local issues and personalities. These platforms can provide insights into who is active and influence in the community. Local events and gatherings. Attend local events, conferences, seminars, and workshops. These gatherings often features prominent speakers and community leaders. Engage with attendees and ask about influential people that they are aware of. Networking can provide valuable information. There are currently a lot of information available online for everyone who's starting a business or running a business. That would be similar to small business meetups with the different regions. I'm currently focusing on the UK, and they ask a lot of those. Some of them every week, some of them every month, but there are options over there. If someone is struggling, I don't know where to begin. Perhaps you would like to spend more time surrounded same-minded people who are perhaps working on similar issues, or perhaps they can assist you solving some of the problems that you have overall. They might be able to save you some money, I guess. Chamber of Commerce and Business Associations. Many cities and regions have chambers of commerce and business associations that promote and recognize local business leaders. Check their websites and publications for information. Government and public service. Look into local government officials, community leaders, and public servants who are actively involved in shaping politics and decisions. Academic and educational institutes. Universities, colleges, and research institutes often have uh, faculty members, researchers, and educators who are influential in their fields. Arts and culture. Explore local arts and scene, including galleries, theaters, and museums. Artists, performers, and cultural leaders often play influential roles. Professional networks. Join professional organizations related to your field of interest. These groups often have influential members who actively contribute to their industries. Social media and online platforms. Follows local influencers, community activities, and throughout leaders on social media platforms to stay up to date on their activities and impact. Local nonprofit and NGOs. Nonprofits organizations and non-governmental organizations often have leaders and volunteers who are deeply involved in social causes and community development. Word of mouth. Talk to your local residents, business owners, and community members to gather insights on who they view as influentials in the area. Local award and recognition. Research local award and recognitions that highlight influential individuals. This could include business awards, civic honors, and community service accolades. Collaborate projects. Collaborate with others who share your interest in identifying influential peoples. Together, you can pool your researches and insights to create more comprehensive picture. If I have to summarize perhaps 10 biggest mistakes that everyone can make when approaching others to perhaps do some projects together, that would be a lack of research, failing to research the potential partner's background, interest, and business can come across as unprepared and disinterest. Do your own homework. Ignoring personalization, sending generic one-size-fits-all messages show a lack of genuine interest. Personalize your communications to demonstrate that you understand their unique situation and how your proposal can benefit them. So basically, this is what they're saying. You might want to optimize your time, but don't forget that you're communicating with the person and how approach that you would perhaps would like to solve that person's problem. How can you solve that person's problem first instead of perhaps going to that person as you to need, I guess. That's where I'm coming from. Overlooking mutual benefits in your approach is solely focused on your own gains without highlighting how the collaboration will mutually benefit. It can come across as self-centered and unappealing. Being too pushy, pushing too hard, or being overly aggressive can make potential partner uncomfortable. Building a relationship of trust and show respect on their time and decision-making process. pure communication skills, communication that is unclear, confusing, or uh, riddled with errors can create a negative impression. Present your ideas clearly, concisely, and professionally. Neglecting failing to follow up after initial contact can convey disinterest. Promptly follow up with additional information, clarifications, or thank you note. Understanding relationship building, rushing into business decisions without first establishing a rapport can make the other party hesitant to collaborate, and that's time to build a relationship and establishing trust. Ignoring feedback in the other party provides feedback or raise any concerns. Dismiss the input can signal that you are inflexible and not open for collaboration. Okay, okay. Overall, I not necessarily agree with all these points, but that might help for others. It just it might take way too much time. So that's perhaps how you could begin. Try it if there's no perhaps real life experience how it might work. People busy, everyone's bored. Basically, that's where I'm coming from. Usually, people are very busy and everyone's bored. And if you there to build a relationship, perhaps not even acknowledging what kind of problem you're looking to solve, there's different ways of go about it. But perhaps if there's anything or anywhere to begin with, that might be good structure to begin with. But overall, try it and see what works, what doesn't work, and build from there. Once you have some real life experience, you can go from there. But overall, focusing solely on the profits, emphasis only the financial gains on the venture may overlook. Some people might be motivated, if we're talking about business, some people might be motivated on just profits. So if people are just motivated by profits and that's the main reason why they starting a business, why they're doing business solely on profits. So some people might be motivated by different reasons, right? But yeah, if that person is motivated on profits, what else would you be talking with that person about? You have this person for half an hour on the phone talking about, I don't know, personal life. rather stick to a profit. But yeah, if there's anything, you can perhaps take it that as a grain of salt, and perhaps that's a good starting block. But overall, not being transparent concerning important information on potential risk and erode trust. Be transparent about your intentions, capabilities, and the challenges that might arise. Overall, perhaps that might work very well for someone who's older. So if you're communicating with some older people who might work on time, you cannot trust those people and not necessarily profit driven, or they well off. But if you're communicating with someone, perhaps, well, that's my personal experience. If you're communicating with someone who's perhaps younger, that's not necessarily the best approach to have. I have published a book, How to Start Your First Business, that's agriculture business, and I have uh, written a lot of ideas, thoughts, feelings that you should take on board when reaching your first milestone. That will be from 0 to 10,000 pounds, dollars, euros. Each, depending on where you are, that would be perhaps first milestone that you can set for yourself and starting a business, and some more information that you should be aware of. This particular book is focusing on livestock business, how to build enterprise with livestock. I'm using examples from someone who did that in Australia, but it would work very similar in different regions as well. It's just some of the information within the book that I'm sharing. It's for someone who is there. You can find it on my company's website. Yeah, thank you. Perhaps 4 or 5 years ago, I was trying to solve different problems. That's the first time that I heard about the principle of 500 most influencers within that particular town. And there was a short educational seminar that I spent a lot of time on. But overall, that would be within that seminar, a person has shared his ideas about hairdressers within that town. That might be the first place where he would go and ask questions for what's happening in that town, where he needs to go, who needs to see, and what questions you need to ask for that person. And but yeah, that's just overall the starting point. And when it comes to business, or perhaps a lesson for myself, I should be spending a lot more time on networking. It's not something that I'm doing a lot. I prefer perhaps on other things, but yeah, I guess that's a path forward. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.